We're doing questions and answers today, and we'll do Chadal Tevis next week. Chadal Tevis is Tuesday, so we're not the Monday. According to the schedule, I have regular classes next Monday, so we'll do Chadal Tevis. So I'm reading the next question. How does one come to terms with the fact that they can't know and understand everything, parenthesis, Chassidus, Yiddishkeit, the truth of it, and how it relates to them, end the parenthesis, and still choose to keep Yiddishkeit and take it all seriously anyway? I'm going to read the question again. How does one come to terms with the fact that they can't know and understand everything, Chassidus, Yiddishkeit, the truth of it, and how to relate to it, and still choose to keep Yiddishkeit and take it all seriously anyway? Did everybody understand the question? Can anybody give me an answer based on a maimer which I'm sure you learned that speaks about our maila over the Jews of earlier generations? This question is front and center of many maimorim of the Rebbe and the Frierdiker Rebbe and maybe even the Rebbe Rashab. Can anybody answer the question? I say that if you can't answer the question, you didn't understand the question. Why should I be a Jew? How am I supposed to be a Jew? I don't even get it. That's the kasha. And the teretz is, that's exactly why we're so special in the Eibishter's eyes. Because he knows that we don't get it. And we do it anyway. When you learned in how many Maimorim, Va'ish Moshe Onov Mi'ed B'Kol Adam Asher Apnei Ha'adama, right? You know that pasuk? Yes, Moshe Rabbeinu was the humblest man of any person on the face of this earth. So it's brought down originally from Alter Rebbe Zokman. It's attributed to a number of Rebbeim. But as far back as the Alter Rebbe, it's hard to find exactly in the Alter Rebbe. But it's a quote from the Rebbeim. But the Rebbe Rashab has it once at least. The Frierdiker Rebbe has it many times. The Rebbe didn't stop saying it. That Moshe Rabbeinu saw der v'der shav der manhig of Moshe Rabbeinu was shown all the future Adi. Yama Acharein Ad Yema Acharein Moshe Rabbeinu saw all the generations of Mashiach. And when you looked at our generation, he was humbled. He knew that we have a maila that Klayachal he doesn't have. Now what was that maila? So if you look on the Frierdiker Rebbe's Maimorim, the maila was Mesiris Nefesh. When you look on the Rebbe's Maimorim, the Rebbe's quoting the Frierdiker Rebbe, but he's misquoting the Frierdiker Rebbe, as he always does. Does anybody know what the Rebbe says in his Maimorim, what makes our generation special? Anybody know? You learned this. That's not what he says. It's pretty close to what he says. Al yevesh mipnei hamaligim. The mile of our generation is we're not misspelled when people laugh at us. Now you may not, on the surface, really? That's the biggest test I have. People make fun of me. The biggest test we have, and I'm going to say it something in very unable words, we're so bad at Yiddishkeit compared to other generations. And nevertheless we do it. We don't care that not only are others making fun of us, we're making fun of ourselves. The biggest chassid today, in terms of Avodah Pnimis, we're not talking about shlichus, but the biggest chassid today, in terms of Avodah Pnimis, it doesn't come to the shoelaces of the chassidim of the early generations. But that's our maila. That's exactly what makes us special. Our ability, and I'm going to use the worst words in the Hebrew and English language, to have Kabbalah sale. That's what it is. This young lady asks a question which I feel is incredibly deep. It's very deep, and I think when she wrote it, she meant this depth. She understands what she's asking. We're so bad at Yiddishkeit. How are we supposed to do it? Well, the answer is Kabbalah sale. Hashem said. And the proof that we do it is we're sitting here. We're sitting here. You're going to raise your children. They're going to sit in this room. They're going to sit in this room also. In the old country, there were so many people who knew the whole Shas. Thousands of people. How many people know the whole Shas? How many? Count them on your hands. There were so many people who davened all day long. So many people who were in such holy high levels, such deep levels. We are the simplest, in terms of greatness, we're the simplest generations. In terms of the simple people, we're by the highest generation. This generation, the people on the bottom, know much more than people the bottom of the old generations because of communication and the internet and so on. But in terms of great people, the greatest people we know are little kids compared to other generations. And that's exactly the Ma'ileh. The answer to this question, according to Chassidus, is our bittul and our Kabbalah sale, our tmimus, our sincerity, our ability to say, I am doing something which I can't do as well as my grandfather did. I don't understand it as well. I don't experience it as deeply. I don't know as much. And I do it anyway. Why? Because Hashem said. That tmimus, that earnestness, that depth, that pnimius is what makes us special. No doubt about it. There's no question about it. And that's the answer to you. Again, young lady, I hope you're here. Hope you're hearing what I'm saying, but this is the correct answer. Your point is so on target. It's so precise. It's so correct. And nevertheless, we do it, Favos, because we have the mile of Tmimus in a way that earlier generations didn't have. Questions or comments?
How do you transmit that to the next generation? Like, to your kids just have Kabbalah Sal? Like, our generation's having a hard time.
Not, impossible time. So let's, instead of using the word Kabbalah Sale, let's use the word Tmimus, because that we have. We have sincerity. You communicate to your children earnestness. I don't have to be so smart. I have to just do what Hashem said. I don't have to understand. I have to just follow. You have it, I have it, on some level we all have it, and we share that with our children. But talking about Kabbalah Sale, which was my favorite subjects, as you know, or don't know, there's a very, very big misnomer about Kabbalah Sale. A lot of kids go to school, and Kabbalah Sale means do what your teacher tells you. Do what your parent tells you. When your teacher says, I want you to do this, and you say, I don't want to do this, the teacher says Kabbalah Sale, and you have to listen to your teacher, otherwise you're going to be punished, or somehow otherwise compromised, that is not Kabbalah Sale. That is Hatolah Sale. Anybody speak Hebrew? What is Kabbalah and what is Hatolah? Kabbalah means accepting. Hatolah means imposing. Too many of us have a really messed up concept of Kabbalah Sale. It was taught to us wrong. Because Kabbalah Sale is used as a tool of controlling kids. And it's a crime. It's a crime. Kabbalah Sale means you get to choose. And when you're ready to choose, you'll choose. And until then, you won't. You know how careful the Rebbe was not to force people? Kabbalah Sale doesn't mean I do what you say because you said. Kabbalah Sale means I do what you said because I chose. The reason we have a problem with Kabbalah Sale is because we were never given the chance to do it. I've told this to you 1,000 times. It is a minor from the Rebbe to a fellow. For a while, it was my screensaver on my computer. He wrote to the Rebbe that has a certain weakness, a certain nisayon, a certain problem. And he keeps on failing. He tried every trick and he keeps on failing. And the Rebbe's answer sounds almost annoyed. The Rebbe's like sort of not happy with what he says. And the Rebbe writes, in part, you tried all the other methods and nothing worked. Why not try what says in Tiny Perek Mamalef? The Rebbe is not saying do it because I said. Accept the yoke of the kingdom of heaven. If we heard Kabbalah Sale as Kabbalah Sale is, we would be very very willing to be makabel. Kabbalah Sale means to take away your free will. But that's not what it means. Kabbalah Sale means you freely choose to submit to God. And we're better than that in any other generation before us. And I propose to you that if in your head you could shift, Kabbalah Sale means I choose to listen to Hashem without having to understand, you'll find that you're pretty good at it. You're only not good at it when somebody else, Kabbalah Sale's for you.
But if that's the education they're getting, like...
It's pathetic.
It is pathetic, and I see it, and it's destroying.
So we got to fix it. So now we're not going to fix the problems of Lubavitch.
No, like...
You asked a question, I gave you an answer, which is negated to you. Mm-hmm. Point well taken. I have a huge issue with it. I really do. I have such a huge issue. I have a huge issue with the whole idea of a person saying, I don't want to do something. The correct answer to I don't want to do something is, when you're ready, you'll do it. But that's not what we say. We say you have to do it. And you know what that's rooted in? When a teacher says to a student, you need to do this now, and the student says, I'm not ready to do it now, let me have some time to process it. The teacher says, okay, when you're ready, you'll do it. Just do me a favor and let me know you started doing it. When the teacher says, no, you have to do it now, you know what the teacher's saying to the student? I don't trust you. And you know what the student hears? You know why I don't trust you? Because you're nothing. And parents do it also. You have to trust your students, you have to trust your children. And they're going to make mistakes. Guess what? So did you. So did your parents. We grow up because we choose this. We never grow up if it's forced upon us. And it gets confused. It gets confused. I feel very much, and I feel more and more as I get older and I teach different kinds of students, that when you show people respect, that when you give people trust, they will surprise you every time. And when you don't show people trust and you force them, they will always disappoint you. Or almost always disappoint you. Any other questions or comments?
How do you do
Kabbalah sale? Okay, the answer to that question is one thing at a time. One thing at a time. It's absolutely realistic. But not from now on I'm going to be a tzaddik, that's Baba Mises. I'm going to daven mincha every day, for example. I'm never going to miss mincha. Or I'm going to bench lich before the 18 minutes. One thing at a time. You will surprise yourself at how good you're able to do it. And the nature of Kabbalah sale is that it begats more Kabbalah sale. The key is the word Kabbalah. Do you understand? I'm giving you a real answer, I think. Any other questions? I'm warning you, if you have no more questions, I'm moving on to the next one. You know that, right? Achei Temimim, yeah? I just want to say that this is a deep question, and you don't have to say who you are. I hope you appreciate my answer. The question you're asking, in my opinion, is in many Maimorim. And the Maimorim spit it and say, this is our biggest Maile. That for these very reasons. They were taka not so good like our ancestors. And nevertheless, we're Yidden. Moshe Rabbeinu was humbled by us. Moshe Rabbeinu, who received the Torah from the Meibish and said, the Pashat Yidden, who serve Hashem with the pshitas of the Emunah Tehera, with the Tmimus, and they don't understand, they're not good at it, and they do it anyway, there's nothing higher than them. And that's us. That's our generation. Be'emes is our generation.